Hello everyone and welcome to your Wednesday's edition of Reptile News. Now let's start the day off with some douchebaggery, and we have some good stories to talk about at the end, but let's start off with the bad, and it ended up kind of good. So first of all, coming out of Ohio, where apparently a 46-year-old man broke into Jack's aquarium and stole a couple pythons. On his way out, a neighbor happened to see him leaving, called 911, the retard was caught, the pythons are back home, and the retard is facing possibly 2 years behind bars. And next we go to Langley, where apparently in military housing, a tenant found a boa. It looks like a python to me. But either way, they'd only lived there for 2 weeks, and I guess the previous tenant did keep snakes, and I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. It escaped from the previous tenant, and it was turned over to the Pennsylvania Humane Society. And actually, our next story doesn't have anything to do with reptiles, but you guys remember the, I think it was a boa. Shut up. I think it was a boa or a python, a service animal that would squeeze the guy's neck when he was about to have a seizure. So this kind of, anyway, they were redoing the Service Animal Act, the American Disabilities Act, and what is and is not a service animal. And now horsechannel.com apparently reports not to be surprised if you see miniature horses boarding a subway, because yes, miniature horses have been approved as service animals. Now, I'm not sure why a miniature horse can be a service animal and not a snake, but yeah, that was information you needed to know. Now let's talk about Melissa Morehouse again. You remember Melissa, the one that lost the snake on the train and got the snake back and got the big cleanup bill? Well, it's been a couple months since then, and she just popped up in the news again because she says that she has no intent in paying that bill. So, you know, this goes back to what we were talking about then. When you fuck up, you pay up. I think that is a quote from Jason White, actually. And yeah, Melissa Morehouse has no intent on paying her bills, so okay. And for those of you that like to keep an eye on politics, I just, you know, everybody should kind of sort of keep an eye on them a little bit. They kind of have to do with a lot of us. And some new news coming out today, coming out of Florida, actually. The state senators in Florida are, you know, we've got a worldwide economic crisis going on, and no doubt they have a pretty bad invasive species problem down there, but which one do you think is more important for them to deal with? Neither of them. They are busy right now trying to choose what the state amphibian is going to be. Shut up again. Now Steve Oilrich, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, whatever. He thinks the barking tree frog should be the state amphibian, but I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? You can probably send him a letter and let him know how retarded they are. Let's talk about snake bites. A man received a snake bite on his hand and was sent to the hospital. He received a snake bite from a baby copperhead. Apparently he was trying to protect some children, he says, and I guess he got a little too close to it. Yeah, I think so. And now let's get into some good news. If you're from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, then happy day for you, because ball pythons have been removed from the dangerous animal law, and now you can keep ball pythons in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. So yeah, happy days, yay! And some more happy news out of Vermont. Apparently the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department, as well as the Nature Conservancy and another place, they're all joining forces to try to save their rattlesnakes, which I guess are pretty highly endangered. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know actually that Vermont had rattlesnakes, although I've got no reason to know that. But yeah, so that is awesome news. It's more conservation. Conservation is good. We like it. So let's move on. And the best news for today, the Ohio exotic animal ban expires today, so that's awesome news. I'm actually kind of surprised it's expiring. I don't know what happened, but the former governor, if you don't already know, then you're retarded, but the former governor enacted an emergency ordinance banning exotic wildlife as pets for 90 days in the state of Ohio, throughout the entire state. The incoming governor at the time, he said that he sees no issue with this, and he's going to look into it and has no problem continuing it after the 90-day emergency ordinance. But apparently, from what it looks like, it's gonna go ahead and expire today, and yeah, you guys won't be lawbreakers in Ohio anymore. So good news, happy days. And that, my friends, will take us into our question of the day. What do you think about the Ohio the exotic snake ban there? I think it was a bunch of horse shit to begin with. In fact, I believe it was something, if I remember correctly, this whole ban was put in place because some animal group was threatening regulations on the agricultural industry there in Ohio, and it was either put this ban in place or, you know, face that industry face more regulations, which it probably should. But anyway, what do you think about the reason this ban was put in place? Are you happy it's apparently expiring today? Leave a text comment or a video response. And as always, if you're still watching, my name is Jason White. Now you know what's going on in the reptile world. Be good to each other.